Caitlin Clark's bestseller is exposing every dirty secret the WNBA tried to hide. 14 words screamed on a morning show cheering the day on her game detonated onto every bestseller list. League phones lit up, boardrooms filled, and players scrolled receipts wondering if their DMs, or jealous soundbites, were about to appear in Chapter 12. But remember, the book is just the match. Clark herself is the gasoline. What follows is how a 23-year-old sharpshooter dragged an entire enterprise into daylight, and why the people in charge can't find the dimmer switch. The book that blew the lid off. Author resume. 21 Olympics, 7 prior books, 3 decades of sources. Christine Brennan is the reporter who exposed Augusta National's all-male membership in 2002. She's nobody's PR agent. 6-week embed. Brennan rode the fever bus, sat in weight rooms, shadowed equipment staff. 50-plus voices on the record. Release stats. Published July 8, 2025 by Scribner. 272 pages. Shot to #1 in basketball. Books on Amazon within 9 hours and cracked the overall top 1,000 list worldwide. Instant impact. Barnes and Noble flagged it.
Because I don't think anyone can argue Caitlin Clark has changed the game. She changed it in college and in the WNBA. We know she broke all those records in college. But what was it about Caitlin that has just garnered so much attention and changed things the way that she has?
You know, Rihanna, obviously she's a basketball player, clearly, as you can see. But she's also an entertainer.
Most pre-ordered sports title since Open. Andre Agassi, 2009. And the quote that convinced Brennan she was holding dynamite? Biggest thing since Maya Moore. A league VP said it earnestly, lowballing Clark's effect by, about 10 power of 10s, as later chapters prove. A league caught without a playbook. Brennan hand-paints scenes of organizational improv. Security. Feverx emailed HQ asking for 2 additional bodyguards after Clark's second flagrant. The reply, pending budget review, arrived 12 days later, after a third hit went viral. Marketing. HQ's preseason rookie campaign was a 30-second social cut that never mentioned Clark by name because legal hadn't cleared her nil sponsors. Arena chaos. In May, the Mystics learned they'd need to triple capacity 5 days out. They moved to 20,000-seat Capital One Arena, paid union rush fees, still ran out of parking. Commissioner soundbites. Asked about Clark at the draft lottery. Kathy Engelbert replied, well, Caitlin and Angel. Critics say lumping Clark with any other rookies signaled fatal underestimation. And then came the Olympic snub, a call so poor the Washington Post deemed it 2024's worst sports decision. Viewership for the women's gold medal game, 7.88 M, sank to a 16-year low, while a U.S. soccer semifinal, without Clark, outdrew it.
And it seems like every story or excerpt or interview that Christine does turns up the heat a little bit more on what Caitlin Clark's first year in the WNBA looked like and the lack of preparation from the league level to the players to, even logistically. This league was not ready for this phenomenon to take over.
The billion-dollar rookie. Economist Ryan Brewer tallies Clark's 2025 ripple at $875 million to $1 billion, roughly 1/4 of all league commerce. Ticketing, broadcast, merch, secondary sales. Attendance milestones nobody else owns. Record, number, date, context. Single season combined home, road. 343 fans. Fever 2024. Clark's rookie year. Largest pro women's crowd in Texas. 2,409. Wings Fever at AAC. July 5th, 25. Even with Clark in street clothes. First WNBA team to 1M TikTok followers. Indiana Fever, July 2025. Clark dunk cereal in locker room clip, 3.2M likes. When Clark's groin kept her out 3 weeks, league-wide viewership cratered 53%. Resale ticket prices for Fever games slid from $137 to $80 in 48 hours, before snapping back the moment she suited up. Rough welcome. Jealousy. Hits and no calls. Chundi Carter shove, upgraded to flagrant after 96 hours of social outrage, drew 11M views on TikTok. Marina Mabrey hit, same shoulder that sidelined Clark in college. Brennan Prince physio notes, showing Clark's soreness lingered 7 games. Officials under fire. An internal memo Brennan references shows flagrant. 2 reviews up 38%. Why to why? Largest spike.
This league is full of drama. Absolute drama. Now, we knew when Christine Brennan, the journalist who wrote the upcoming Caitlin Clark book, the stories emerging from this book is going to light the league on fire. I mean, seriously. We got an altercation between Brennan and Dejanay Carrington. It doesn't even have to do with the eye gouge, which we know Dejanay flipped her wig off over.
Like since 2001, but whistle frequency is down 6%. Celebrity callouts. Chris Evert labeled it open season optics. Even retired porn star Lana Rhoades tweeted, "Protect the woman paying your bills, zebras." That single tweet outperformed the league's Game of the Week promo. Result? Fever Vets assigned Sophie Cunningham as Clark's shadow. Her words, not ours. Payback screens, subtle nudges, constant jawing. Brennan says it reads like an NHL enforcer subplot. Global frenzy, local chaos. International anecdotes Brennan added in late edits. A Brazilian father-daughter duo maxed credit cards to see Clark in Chicago. The teen learned English via Clark highlight packs. A Stockholm tech firm booked a corporate retreat to Indianapolis once schedules dropped. Owner said, cheaper than the Super Bowl, and our engineers begged for it. Japan's DAZN feed reported Fever games outrating J-League Soccer on overlap nights. First-time women's hoops cracked top 5 streaming charts there. Meanwhile, WNBA expansion rides her wake. Golden State launches in 2026, Portland and Toronto greenlit by 2027, a potential Philly bid rumored. Oh, and the impending TV rights talks. ESPN, Amazon, and Netflix are circling a $2.2 billion 10-year package. Numbers once deemed fantasy. Could she build her own league? Brennan's hypothetical Nike Clark League gained plausibility when Nike's leaked white paper projected a break-even in year 3, with just 8 metro markets at 10K average gates. Wilson Sporting Goods emailed Brennan to clarify they'd meet any ball supply timeline. Streaming executives privately told the Wall Street Journal they'd pay 8 figures for a docu-series following the launch. Even if nothing materializes, the threat shifts CBA leverage. Next bargaining cycle.
Christine spoke with somebody from the W who she did not name, and she asked that person, do you know how big this is going to be? And that person responded, yeah, this should be the biggest thing since Maya Moore. Now, Maya Moore is an all-time great player. Maya Moore has never sniffed what Caitlin Clark has meant to the profile of women's basketball. And Christine Brennan was shocked that they would compare it to that.
Players can cite a plan B that once seemed laughable. The book's most damning pages. 2 fresh nuggets Brennan dropped in a New York Post interview. Red folder incident. Mid-May, an operations director slapped a binder on a conference table titled High-Risk Months, May-August. Inside were screenshots of Clark trending with injury, hit, and jealousy keywords. Execs joked about the title font. Brennan included the joke. New York Post. Media training gap quote in full. 85% of our players don't grasp real coverage. They think 2 TikTok edits equals PR. That unnamed official still hasn't refuted the wording. What happens next? All-Star, Indy, July 19th. First game after Clark's return. Cheapest seat is $289 on StubHub. Book tour Q&A. Brennan to appear on CBS Mornings July 20th. Expect unreleased excerpts. CBA clock. Player option to reopen 2027. Owners already tallying new escrow models. If the league mismanages even one of those flashpoints, injury flare-ups, jealous elbows, or tone-deaf press conferences, Brennan's epilogue might read uglier than Chapter 1. Social media shockwaves and the rise of Clark's enforcer. When Sophie Cunningham flattened J.C. Sheldon in a closing seconds payback foul, 3 players were ejected. The Twitterverse melted, and Cunningham's TikTok following skyrocketed from 302,000 to 1.4 million in 6 days. Fox Sports analysts estimate that surge translates to $1 million in brand value, dwarfing the $400 fine she ate for the flagrant. The Fever now joke they have the Splash Sister and the Smash Sister. Clark rains threes, Sophie clears the airspace. Brennan's epilogue points to that protector dynamic as proof the league's laissez-faire whistle forced players to police themselves, never a healthy sign for star longevity. The record crowd nobody saw coming. Dallas thought moving a July 5th Wings Fever matinee to 19,000-seat AAC was ambitious, until every seat vanished in 36 hours. Final gate, 2,409, biggest paid attendance for women's hoops in Texas history. Local merch vendors ran out of Clark jerseys by halftime.
People are doing a really good job promoting it for. I mean, for the folks who are against the Brennan notion or the promotion, they surely are doing a lot of promoting for her. I mean, Dejanay Carrington.
The arena's secondary kiosk reported NBA-caliber queue lengths. Brennan adds a delicious footnote. Mavericks owner Mark Cuban texted Fever Brass congrats, then asked how they handled extra security on 72-hour notice. New money, new media, new cities. ESPN's 30 team is already storyboarding a Clark doc for 2027. No surprise when you see the $2.2 billion, 11-year media pact the WNBA just landed with Disney, Amazon Prime, and NBC Universal, the richest rights deal in women's sports history. Sources tell Brennan the deal contains a Clark escalator, a bonus pool that grows if Fever and National Clark broadcasts smash ratings targets 2 straight years. Expansion, meanwhile, has accelerated. Golden State tips off 2026, Portland and Toronto follow by 2027. Philly's bid, once someday, is now, as soon as arena dates clear. Inside the Amazon Top 10 frenzy. On her game hit #1 in Amazon's basketball chart 9 hours after release, and cracked the overall global top 1000, the only WNBA-themed title ever to do so. Pre-orders outpaced Kobe Bryant's Mamba Mentality launch day tally. Barnes and Noble labeled it their fastest-moving sports pre-order since Andre Agassi's Open, 2009. That stat alone has other publishers sniffing for women in sport books, and Brennan's agent fielding TV rights calls. Brennan's cutting room floor. 2 new reveals. Red folder photo. Brennan shared, in a New York Post follow-up, a phone pic of a league ops binder labeled high-risk months, May-August, the same binder an exec jokingly mocked for its Comic Sans font right before Clark's first flagrant. She printed the joke. The exec hasn't replied. Cancelled PSA. Wilson Sporting Goods filmed a Protect the Stars ad with Clark, Wilson, and Maya Moore, but the league paused it, fearing backlash that it highlighted one rookie. The ad now waits on a hard drive, unseen. The power dynamic tipping point. Ryan Brewer's updated forecast pegs Clark's slice of league GDP at 26.5%, bigger than Jordan's share of NBA revenues the year he dropped 63 at the Garden. Brennan's closing chapter warns, when a quarter of your ecosystem hinges on a single ankle, you either reinforce that ankle or build a new ecosystem before it strolls away. Epilogue. The crucial 90 days. July 19th. All-Star Game. Indianapolis. Cheapest seat on StubHub equals $289. July 20th. Brennan on CBS Mornings with new excerpts. August-September. Media rights negotiations close. Any Clark injury scare will spook suitors. October. Player Marketing Summit. Clark's camp asked League HQ for structured visibility guarantees. Translation. Treat the superstar like a partner, not a prop. Miss any of those beats, Brennan writes, and the Nike Clark League moves from barroom theory to boardroom agenda. Why this matters even more now. Caitlin Clark isn't merely breaking the WNBA mold, she's forcing the league to craft an entirely new casting. With every record crowd in Dallas, every Brazilian fan in Indy, every viral clip of her enforcer banging the parquet, the cost of complacency climbs. If leadership still thinks she's the biggest thing since Maya Moore, they're 9 zeros behind reality. And that reality comes with deadlines. Evolve at Caitlin's speed or get lapped.